Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is some of the people will start fighting against the government. Now, you folks have been listening for a long time. You recognize those words. For those of you that haven't, let me refresh your memory. Now, I covered this in detail yesterday, so I'm going to just breeze through it. As you recall, what the angel told Dumitru Duduman was the fall of America would start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. In my opinion, that is perhaps weeks or maybe only a few months away from actually happening. But I think the second phrase, based upon what we're going to talk about today, is in progress. So the angel said, the fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government, meaning as the good guys take over the bad guys' position, that's the internal revolution, we're going to see a lot more. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. But what I'm going to show you today, I believe that the fighting has already begun. It's about to intensify much more. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. I believe that we're going to see things like lines cut to phones, perhaps electrical lines, perhaps sabotage to oil companies, to electric companies, to gas companies, to gasoline suppliers, all kinds of sabotage inside of our nation. And I'll show you that in just a second. That some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and two of the countries will attack and defeat America in one day. In 1 hour, so great riches will come to naught. Now, a lot of people right now, they're listening to the news, and unfortunately we make our decisions based upon the news more than we make our decisions based upon the prophecies or God's prophets. A lot of people are saying, oh, China's the problem, because that's what the news is saying. But that's not what the prophets say. China is going to be on our side in the next war. The prophets say Russia is the problem, and the angel told Dumitru specifically that if the people would be, in other words, America, would begin to repent, he would open the eyes and let America see the trouble that's coming. If she didn't, she wouldn't see the trouble coming. Well, obviously, I mean, who's talking about the problems with Russia right now? Nobody. Okay, in other words, we are not seeing the trouble coming. Instead, we believe the news. We listen to the news more than we believe a guy that sat on the electric chair twice was sent here to give a warning to America. We don't believe God anymore. We don't believe God's prophets anymore, while we listen to CNN for our news. The rest of the prophecy was that God will raise up China and Japan and many of the nations that will go against the Russians, meaning Russia is going to go against China is going to go against the Russians. They'll back the Russians at the gates of Paris where they sign a peace treaty, but they make the Russians their leader. Under the leadership of the Russians, all the world goes down to attack Israel. Israel cries from the sides. Jesus returns on the clouds and defeats the armies of the earth. But today, what we want to be talking about is some of the people will start fighting against the government, because all of this is already in progress, you see. Now let's jump to the article. HalTurnRadioShow.com, and I know you're probably thinking, don't you get your news from any place? I do. I mean, you guys send me all kinds of articles. Thank you very much. Just sending them to askstan, and I can't say the rest of it, or I'll get all kinds of garbage from around the globe trying to sell me things. But if you have good information, send it to my email, which you see on the screen. That's where I get the most information. However, sometimes I do get information from a few other sources, but it seems like this HalTurnRadioShow.com and Benjamin Fulford seem to be having the best information that relates to Bible prophecy. Headline, Eco-terrorists. Okay, they're calling them terrorists, but what it really is sabotage, okay? They don't like being arrested. They don't like their buddies being arrested, and so they're sabotaging. Now, it's not in the news, but people in high places know that there is a battle going on between the good guys and the bad guys like we probably have never seen in the history of mankind. Eco-terrorist, ? Or chain supply sabotage. See, there's the word, sabotage. Multiple bombs found on ships and barges in Ohio River. Now, these were found, question, do you think if the conspiracy, the cabal, the Moloch and Baal worshippers, do you think that they allowed these to be found? I do. I think that this was a shot across the bow. I think a lot of this that we're seeing with the supply chain shortage, a lot of this we're seeing, these are shots across the bow because they don't really want to see America destroyed either because they enjoy a lot of the things that America brings them. But they're also saying we're serious. If you don't stop this stuff, if you don't cow down, bend the knee, and do as you're told, if you don't let us rule the world like we've been doing since before the pyramids, we will take you out. As Benjamin Fulford was told, we have ruled this planet for thousands of years and will destroy it rather than give it up. They're serious. These are shots across the bow. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. These are their early shots. Let's go on. He says, someone appears to be making a tangent attack. Someone, see, he says he's a Christian, and I'm not attacking Hal Turner. I'm simply trying to say there's an advantage in being a prophecy student and listening to God's prophets. And because, he openly says he doesn't have anything to do with Christianity. He doesn't want people calling into his program having anything to do with Christianity. So consequently, he doesn't understand about Moloch and Baal. He doesn't understand about what the prophets are saying. He doesn't understand that. Well, that's okay, because the information he's bringing me, you and I, as prophecy students, say, I understand. I know exactly what that's saying, because we have more information. Let's go on. Someone appears to be making a tangent attack on the nation's electrical power supply. Duh. It's not going to be just electrical power supply. It's going to be natural gas, propane. It's going to be at the malls. They're going to start until finally it reaches suitcase nukes. And even then, that's not enough. Finally, they destroy America with the Russians attacking. All of these are shots across the bow. All of these are saying, you let us rule you or we'll take you out. According to West Virginia State Police, at about 8:30 p.m. on Monday, crews responded to a possible explosive device. Look, if they didn't want us to find it, we wouldn't find it, okay? A possible explosive device found on a towboat on the Ohio River near Williamstown in Wood County, West Virginia. On the boat were two suspicious devices. The West Virginia State Police explosive response team removed the devices safely from the boat. According to them, another potential device was found on a barge on Ohio River in West Virginia. A section of the river was shut down. Then another possible explosive device was found on a barge in the Ohio River. They rendered it safe and then removed it from the barge. What were they carrying? Coal. Why? Because coal is what supplies, he goes on in the article, which I'll skip. There's like 7 different power plants all up and down the Ohio River, and they primarily create their electricity from coal. So what this really was is an attack to shut down our electricity. That is, if we don't listen. If we don't bend the knee to these evil people, that's what they're going to do. They're going to shut us down. He goes on to say, it would make for a long, dark winter if coal-fired power plants had no fuel. Okay, so that's the electricity, but hang on, there's more. In 2019, there were 241 coal-powered units across the United States, which generated 23% of the United States' electricity in 2019. An amount of electricity similar to that of the renewable energy of nuclear power plant, but about half of the amount generated by natural gas plants' installed capacity was 236 gigawatts. Now, we know that they've started shutting a lot of these things down because why? We're hurting the environment. And so now they're trying to go to wind. The problem is, as we saw this past winter, the wind generators shut down in the cold. He goes on to say, most impacted by the supply of coal were shut down and these electrical plants had turned off for lack of fuel. So the point is, they're saying, don't come after us. Don't arrest us. Stop this execution stuff. Stop all of these warrants. Stop all these sealed indictments. Stop it, or we're going to shut you down. They're not kidding. They're serious. Next article, HalTurnRadioShow.com again. CEO of Blackstone warns power shortages and riots coming to developed nations. See, it's not just America coming after these guys. It's the whole world. This is evil that nobody can stand. And so they're coming against the whole world. Soon, propane Armageddon could leave rural homes without heat. We are potentially heading to the most painful global energy crisis in modern history. just an accident? Nah, it's a plan. It's a threat. And they're making good on the threat if we understand who these people are and what they believe in. Most painful global energy crisis in modern history, shortages and outages of propane, could make it possible to heat rural homes this winter. Goes on to say they're going to end up with a real shortage of energy, high energy prices. High energy prices? This is not about just raising the price of energy. This is about shutting off energy because they're making a point. Okay? High energy prices will likely set off social unrest around the world. Schwartz continued, when the power goes out, people are not going to be happy. But they won't understand. If you try to explain somebody that America's in the process of falling, they'll laugh in your face. If you try to tell them that there's Moloch and Baal worshippers out there that believe in killing people and eating people and drinking their blood, they'll laugh in your face. So they'll never understand this, which is why, my brothers and sisters, for us few that do understand this, we have to understand that we're called to pray. That's why I'm asking people, come Halloween night at midnight, we're going to start fasting. I'm asking people to pray on our face 4 times a day, for 4 days, and we're going to ask for 40 more years. Somebody said, well, you really think you can get 40 more years? I can tell you this, if we only ask for 4 years, he's not going to give us 40 years. We better be asking for 40 more years. We're the only ones that would possibly do that, to fast, to pray for America when we don't have to worry about that. We're going to pre-trib rapture. You see what I'm saying? In other words, unless they really believe this would come, they're not going to fast and pray. They don't understand. Let's go on. Finally, he says, we will soon see very unhappy people all over the globe. Sad to say, but that's what it's going to take to wake up most of the people. Let's go on. If the global elite, it's not the global elite. It's the Moloch and Baal worshippers, which are the global elite. If the global elite had continued to fund traditional energy projects at the pace was needed, okay, so they really are in charge, and they really do decide when wars start, who wins the war, because they finance the wars. And they also decide when power plants are going to be built. They really do rule the world. Now, we know that Jesus rules it, but he rules it based upon the words coming out of our mouth and our deeds and our actions. And so as America continues to sin and fall into sin, he allows the devil to step in to kill, steal, and destroy. That's the way it works. Energy projects at the pace that was needed, we could have avoided this nightmare to a very large degree. But banks, who rules the banks? They rule the banks. Investment firms, they rule investment firms that traditionally handled the gigantic lending needed to build power plants are now reluctant to fund anything that would now emit carbon from fossil fuels. Okay, the whole green energy thing, it's all about killing people. They're saying, there's too many people on the planet. We got to kill some of these people off. It's sick, but that's what they really believe. Why? Because that's worshiping their God. Abortion is worshiping their God. Getting this confusion about is it a boy or is it a girl? Or do we get to let the boys go in the girls' bathroom? All of that is confusion. It brings sin. That allows the devil to destroy, kill, steal, and destroy more. Anything would emit carbon from fossil fuels, environmentalism is now causing a shortage of electricity generating capacity. No, that's not really it. Because America has begun to sin more and more and more, then Jesus backs off more and more and more and allows the devil to come in and kill, steal, and destroy. I saw another, Revelation 18, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power. And the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great, it's America, Babylon the great, is fallen, has become the habitation of devils, the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. I want to believe that we can turn that around. I want to believe that we're not very close to that, but you and I both know that we're real close to that. And if we don't fast and pray, we might see the Russians attack really soon as opposed to many more years. Environmentalism is now causing a shortage of electric generating capacity. That's the excuse. It's the Moloch and Baal worshippers behind it, which has become so insufficient that one billionaire is saying we can now look forward to blackouts in wintertime because they cannot generate enough electricity anymore. Prices throughout our economic system continue to rise at a very alarming rate. The average wholesale price of a grade A frozen 8 to 16 pound turkey has spiked 21% since last year. It's not about prices going up. It's not about they're shutting down the nation because we are shutting them down. Because we are getting rid of their swift financial system that they have owned and controlled at least 300 years, truth be known, back to the pyramids. They've owned and controlled the financial system for thousands of years. And because we're bringing in a new quantum financial system, we're kicking them out. Since we've already been arresting many of them, now again, you probably don't get that. I mean, your news wouldn't talk to you about that. So as long as you listen to secular news, if that's your news source, then you're going to do dumb things. But if you listen to the prophecies and the prophets, then you are correctly informed. Let's go on. So, Norman Brown, director of the sweet potato sales, is paying truckers nearly twice as much as usual to haul his crop to other parts of the country. Yeah, things are going to get a lot more expensive, but the question is not the expensive part. It's also, can you even get it? And the answer is, there's going to be a lot of things here very soon we're not about to get. Why? Because we're coming in, actually, we're already in 7 years of famine. I've explained that. As of September the 6th, 2021, it started 7 years of famine. This is all part of it. It's part of what God is allowing the devil to do. Let's go on. Unfortunately, more price hikes are on the horizon. In fact, Kimberly-Clark Corporation goes down here to say, prices of toilet paper, diapers, facial tissue, paper towels are likely to rise in coming weeks. Inflation supply chain concerns aren't likely to be resolved quickly, so stock up on paper goods while you still can, he says. We understand what's going on. And because we understand, my brothers and sisters, we got to fast, we got to pray. It's not a question of whether I don't want to. But I also understand how important it is that we do it. Halloween night, midnight to Thursday at 4 p.m. Halloween night at midnight, Thursday to 4 p.m. We're gonna pray, and I'm going to give you the prayer here. I promise in tomorrow's broadcast. I will give you the words we're asking you to pray. I wish there was a way I could get you to download it. I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, we're going to pray on our face 4 times a day for 4 days, asking for 40 more years. Right now we gotta, or we're about to lose our nation. He goes on to say, the price of gasoline has gone up. Yes, it has. We understand that. The main reason, supplies. Well, who's controlling the supplies? It's not about raising prices. It's about shutting down the country. Look on the book, on the front of the book called Morals and Dogma. At the bottom of it, it says ordo ab chaos. That's their goal. It's Latin. It means order out of chaos. What did Shane Warren just say in yesterday's broadcast? He just said that there's going to come a time when these things begin to shut down. And we're in the process of it. So it says effectively out of crude oil in just a few weeks. Next is complete outages of LNG or propane. So they're going to say that there's about to be a propane market Armageddon. It's not an accident. These people really do control most of the world. And because some good guys are shutting them down, these are they're a threat. Look, I'm telling you that they're marching somebody like a Henry Kissinger into the people that really rule the world, the good guys. And they're saying, you like it? You see what we're doing? That's our hand. And if you keep shutting us down, we are going to shut your world down. We have ruled this planet for thousands of years, and we will destroy it rather than give it up. At what point are you going to start believing us? That's the battle that's going on right now. All of this is superficial. But if we understand what's really going on, we understand this is superficial. These are their threats and their promises, and they're make good on those promises. If the propane runs out in the middle of the winter, what are we supposed to do? What happens if, say, Oklahoma and Texas get hit with that scalar wave, that super cold again this year, only the electricity's out and it's not coming back on? The LNG and the propane people are out of. Big problem. See what I'm saying? That's where we're going here. That's why, my brothers and sisters, we got to fast. We got to pray. Natural gas prices in Europe, have tripled. Look for it here, if you can get it for any price. Gas prices in Europe have gone up and tripled this year, he says. This is the new normal. We've been saying the world as we have known it is not going to come back. From here, it's going to continue to get worse and worse and worse until Jesus returns. That is our only hope is to fast and pray, and hopefully we can touch the heart of God and he will turn this around, because there's not a beating heart on the globe that can do it. Only the hand of God could turn this around. And what will turn the hand of God is our fasted prayers. This is a new normal, so you might as well get used to it. I'm shocked that things have deteriorated so quickly. And this new global energy crisis is definitely setting the stage for so many things. As global energy supplies get tighter and tighter, all of us will feel the pain. All the experts are telling us that things are not going to turn around anytime soon. Many top Democrats are warning that high inflation is with us to stay. And as energy prices escalate, that will push all prices through our economic system higher and higher and higher. See, he's concentrating on prices because he doesn't understand where this is really going. This is the fall of America. We're watching the fall of America, my brothers and sisters. We're watching the fall of America. In 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation. I was shown a secret door that links the feasts to the prophecies of Revelation. For the first time, the book of Revelation can be understood. It can be put in correct chronological order. I got 30 revelations, 2 visions, and 1 audible voice. One prophetic word said, there's a lock that I put over a word in Revelation that I'm going to open to you, and it will turn many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books. That's this book. This is the granddaddy. If you want to understand Bible prophecy, that's the book to get. Miss the mark. Well, what is the most important information every beating heart on the globe needs to know? Well, after except Jesus, of course, it would be don't take the mark of the beast, because those taking the mark of the beast do not get soul death, but they're tossed into the lake that burns with fire and brimstone for all eternity with the beast, the false prophet, and 1,000 years later, Lucifer, and they have no escape. Miss the Mark is the book you give to people that you love, you don't want to see tossed into the lake of fire. God's warnings to America explains the modern dreams and visions and audible voices I believe are from God. Dumitru Duduman, Michael Boldea, Leslie Johnson, Henry Groover, Shane Warren, Terry Bennett, Maurice Sklar, Augusto Perez, Doug Metzger, Bree Keaton, and much more. Tribulation Secrets in Daniel explains how to spot the Antichrist early and what to do. His physical appearance, sound of his voice, how he rises to power, the fact that Nebuchadnezzar will be a resurrected Antichrist and beast. He rises from the bottomless pit, explains the 7 final world governments. How pre-trib won. How the big lie beat the truth, and the people would have it so. It settles the rapture question, why pastors teach pre-trib. It explains how the 501c3 board members actually hire, fire, and tell the preacher what he is going or is not going to preach. It also covers the secret door, what is the morning star, what is the wrath of God, eternity entering time, who are the nations, what is an overcomer, proof of the post-trib, and 25 pre-trib questions answered. It will answer the question for you about the rapture. 40 books, $800 value for $100. Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy is a deep dive into Bible prophecy. Miss the Mark is the book you give to people that you never want to take the mark of the beast. God's Warnings to America is 101 modern prophecies, everything from Dumitru Duduman to rest of the most popular, the most credible prophets out there. Tribulation Secrets in Daniel is the book that you read to understand, as a tribulation saint, what you need to know. And then How Pre-Trib Won, you'll settle your question about the rapture. Now, you can get all 5 of these in a giant package. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets. Shrink-wrap sets of 10 for the Understand Bible Prophecy. Miss the Mark is in shrink-wrap sets of 10. God's Warning is shrink-wrap sets of 10. Daniel is 5. How Pre-Trib Won is 5. So it's a total of 40 books, valued at $800, all for a gift of just $100 at prophecyclub.com. Jack Clooney is a ranking authority on Satanism, witchcraft, white supremacy, and other forms of cult and occult activity. Hear the truth about things like bobbing for apples, trick-or-treat jack-o'-lantern, and more. Don Marquis was raised in an Illuminati family. Discover the real truth behind the popular holidays of Christmas, Easter, Halloween, and more in America's occult holidays. Stephen Dollins, an ex-Satanist high priest, exposes the subtle devices used to infiltrate the homes of Christians to introduce witchcraft and Satanism. What is the hidden agenda behind Halloween in Occult Holidays Revealed? Then Bill Sneblin, a former voodoo priest, he used to be a vampire, and explained it is wrong and needs to be exposed in Vampires and Werewolves, Real or Fake. All of these available at prophecyclub.com. And these are available for a gift of $90, or for the month of October, you can watch them by signing up at watchprophecyclub.com. The Watchman Package. Get 2 2-foot by 3-foot color updated charts, my handwritten book of the Book of Revelation, 5 DVDs where I taught the School of the Watchman, and 5 Secret Door books to understand Bible prophecy, valued at $355, all for a gift of just $200 at prophecyclub.com. The good news is EMP Shield has devices the military testing facility says protect 100% against EMP, solar flares, lightning, power surges, backed by a 10-year warranty and a $25,000 insurance policy. View simple video installation instructions for home, vehicles, RV. You can have electricity in a blackout. Use the promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card, and it helps your Prophecy Club. These days, emergency food is mostly sold out, but HeavensHarvest.com has all sorts of emergency supplies and food in stock. Their food comes in square stackable buckets: breakfast, entree, protein, fruits and vegetables. I recommend you have at least 12 months of food for each person in your family. Receive a free box of heirloom seeds when you enter the promo code STAN at HeavensHarvest.com. Promo code STAN. Terry Saka is a prophecy student, and he reads his King James Bible, and he believes in winning souls so much he is supporting the Prophecy Club so that we can win more souls. So if you want to support someone that loves prophecy and wants to win souls, I'm going to send you to cornerstoneassetmetals.com, where you can get all sorts of precious metals: gold, silver, rhodium, palladium, and things like that. cornerstoneassetmetals.com. Click like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend.